What's going on, everybody? Ibrahim Nwagui Code, and this is another installment of the check-in where we check in with our favorite entrepreneurs, hustlers, and influencers to see how they are faring in these trying times. Or it depends on who you talk to, man. It could be or could be not, or may not be. Look at me talking about could be not. All right, so without further ado, I know you guys, if you're on here, you see the gentleman to my right, your left. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself and his company, his initiative, everything that he's doing, and then we're going to get right into it. You guys know what we do. Niahmu, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Niahmu, aka Niahmu Raw Talent. My platform is pretty much majority doing shoes, but I also like to do customized core items like vases, dressers, other things like that. A lot of my work is hand painted, or I use spray paint depending on the material, and airbrush art. So my style is always just taking your vision, with take my materials, and just make something magical out of it, something that brings you joy. Passphrase is always add flavor to it. I like to make things as anti-normal as possible. So I like to make all projects I do and commissions one of a kind, as unique as possible.
100%. And I hopefully the people got a little example of that just from the some of the things that I posted from you this last week. Even with me scrolling through, I seen a couple things. I'm like, oh yeah, this is fire right here. Um, so this thing that I started, it's twofold. Of course, it's a platform for entrepreneurs, and hustlers and people that fall in between that. But it's also it's not just about the things that you do, but it's about where you are. So I always like to lead with this question. It's a very simple question. People ask it every day, but people don't pause to allow for the answer. And that question is, sir, in all of this over the last year, how are you doing?
Yeah, that's a big question. There's so many ways to answer that. And surface level, things are great. I'm thankful that my wife, my two sons, we have been impacted by this pain. My family outside my wife. There has been a lot of change. I've been working from my 9 to 5. I want to say last February.
Yeah.
That's become normal. So I mean, there's pros to that. Commute wise, save money. Don't have to get up as early, and then you got like child care, daycare, things like that. Overall, we have been thankful because it hasn't been that heavy of a burden. Not to impact it negatively, but when you got things like losing your job, unable like that, we're thankful for that because that stuff's been great for us. We do simple Walmart pickup, so we don't have to actually go into the store to keep the chances of getting affected down.
Yeah.
We just keep them in a positive mind state. We have to stay in the house long when quarantine was kicking off, so things have been good. My heart goes out to those because we just had a friend from UDC and friend from UDC passed. His name was Nelson. He actually passed from COVID.
I know Nelson. He was in the program with me. I know Nelson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He was
Yeah.
in the Men's Youth Leadership Institute with me back in the day. I worked with him. Yeah, man. Good brother.
Yeah. 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 He used to go to UDC every day. He was a great guy. Definitely always gave support, always was a great time, but was always about business as well.
Yeah.
So, watching what he was going through, then someone confirmed his passing. It hit me hard. It was like, you be hearing the stories of everything that's been going on, but that hit close to home.
Yeah.
It wasn't just somebody who you like, oh yeah, I remember their face. I may have had a class with them. Like I know the brother, just like you said. So that's what makes me an outlook to what I have, because it could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be 10 times worse. So positive. fridge is full, because I know grocery was a big thing for a lot of people not being at the grocery store. We're all healthy. I'm still able to work my 9 to 5. Bills are paid. So yeah, as far as like how am I, I'm in a pretty good mindset. I know things will be a lot worse.
100%. I'm not sure if it's just mine, but your audio is cutting in and out just a little bit. It's like I'm catching majority of what you're saying, but I don't know. But well, I'll kind of monitor it throughout the
Let me
rest
take
of
my
it.
Bluetooth off.
Okay.
I'll take those off. Let me see.
How's that?
Yeah. That's a lot more. That's a lot sharper.
Okay, yeah, I just hit the Bluetooth off. Maybe feedback. I was probably too close to the phone.
All right, so there's one thing that I did want to point out. You referenced it really quickly, but I always like to point it out because for some odd reason, people think that it's some type of like lifestyle conflict if you have a 9 to 5 and you also are a self-proclaimed entrepreneur. This is not the scripts. We are do what you have to do because I just have to say I have to point it out, and I'm glad that you said it because for some reason people people like to make anything a cult. So it's like, oh, well, you're an entrepreneur, then how you going, bro? A 9 to 5 is one of the best forms of funding for entrepreneurship ever. Why? Because once you do your job, you don't owe them anything. They just invested in your business. You gave them your time. It's not a loan. That's the most perfect. If you can manage it, it's perfect. But you just have to make sure that you know how to manage it because that's when it begins to get fuzzy. That could be a whole other conversation. I'm going to keep it here. 2020, right? We made it to 2021, right? But 2020 was something else, and so I want to know. At this point, it's almost a year ago. We're almost about to hit a year of when this thing really became what it had become. But I like to bring people back to how things were before, and at this point, I mean, we're getting to the point where we may not even be able to remember how things were before. But I think that business owners will be more in tune with how things were before because you have to pay more attention to your business than just your regular life. Like you're gonna let things slide with your regular life. With your business, you're gonna have your hands on it. Were you doing this before the pandemic? I know the answer to it, but if you were, what was your business? What was your business looking like before the pandemic? The pandemic hits. What does it look after the pandemic? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, so I've been customizing since 2015. So I was already in my flow of starting my customization business.
Yeah.
I feel like 2020 didn't impact it too negatively. I feel like it did slow down. I wasn't getting as many commissions. So it was an effect, I will say, because with everything going on, the last thing people think about was like getting sneakers or, getting something done. I think it picked back up because people are learning to enjoy life again. Yeah. They're learning to just find some type of appreciation for something they do, and just trying to have fun and enjoy life. Yeah. People have commissioned me for parties. One person got something done. They was just going to be on a Zoom party, but it's just some form of enjoyment. So of course, at the beginning, with everything going on, people scraping to find hand sanitizer, lockdown, quarantine, the protests, everything going on, of course, slowed down. And for myself too, I stopped paying for a second with everything going on because I was in a bit of a like, oh man, because I didn't even speak on it, but the whole thing with Black Lives Matter definitely hit me in a different place. But it didn't slow me down when I stopped paying it. It made me want to do art more because you got to turn your gears. I got to get my mind off. I got to clear my head a little bit because I don't want to end up. Me and my wife always tell each other that it's like we got 2 rules. We don't watch the news too long, and we try to watch as little CNN as possible. Nothing against them, but we find ourselves getting caught and getting pulled in and just watching it hour after hour, and it just turns to like it starts to depress you because you see how negative it is. So, she does her different things to kind of, bring her back, and my thing is art. So when commission started picking back up, I started seeing people, living again.
Yeah.
They're doing small gatherings, doing something small, even if it's like a simple photo shoot, hitting me up for a commission so that they can just, have some type of art in their life. And that's really what I do it for. When they see it and they get excited and they're happy, that's why I do this, that joy it brings to them. Like, even when people commission me to do something for someone else, they are just excited when I reveal it to them. So that's why I do it.
So has this thing spawned any innovation? Like, is there anything new that you that you've implemented now, because of the pandemic? Or, I mean, when I think about your business model, it's really, I mean, it's social distance. It's just you and your spray gun and the material. So you already really social distance. But I've seen that this new, like what I'm doing, for example, right? Like, this is the new normal because of the pandemic. People have kind of developed a patience for these type of platforms because of the pandemic. So have you come across something new that you can do, maybe with technology, because of the pandemic with your business model?
Yeah.
So let's visit that.
Yeah, YouTube. So yeah, I'm sorry I didn't touch on that before, but my new YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That was something that definitely sparked, because before I didn't really have the time mentally to put into it, because commuting back and forth. Once you get home, gotta go to bed, get back up early in the morning.
Yeah.
This was and again, I'm sorry I didn't bring this up before.
No. It's all good, man. We got time, man.
It was definitely something that, because I've been wanting to do YouTube since I started in 2015, but it was always struggles. Like, I wouldn't have enough space once I recorded, so I had to delete the footage. Didn't really have time because of work. So like I said, waking up early in the morning, going to work, commuting. Pretty much when you get home, you got like an hour free, you gotta go to bed because you gotta get up early. Yeah. So something did spark in me in the summertime. My first video was when I did that lion jacket for my pops. Yeah. And I realized I have extra time, because when I wake up now, I have a little more time before I have to clock in. I clock in on my laptop. And once I get off, I'm already home. So, play with the boys, we eat, bath time, and then I have a little more time at night. So now I've really committed myself to either editing my YouTube videos or painting at night, because I can spend most of the day with my family. But now night is my domain, because I don't have to go to bed as soon, because, I don't have to commute. I pretty much just boot up the laptop. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this YouTube platform. And not only that, with quarantine, I noticed, TikTok challenges coming up about the yin yang. Yeah. Everybody doing live, like, people are on their devices. So I was like, I can really start to spark this thing now, because there's a chance people could pay more attention because everybody's at home. So my audience could be a little broader than it would have been back in 2015. It's sad that the reason why, but a spark went off. Is like, hey, people gonna be on their devices, people gonna be available. I have available time to really edit this, put my all into it, focus on it, do the work, do the YouTube, everything like that. So that was something that really came into blossom, because I had the time and I knew I had the audience. So that's been really fun. People been giving me great feedback. Subscribers gone up, views gone up, and it's I like creating content, because I just like to create. The root of it all, whether it's YouTube, whether it's artwork, shoes, I just like to create. I'm just a creative person by nature. So YouTube platform as a part of my business, because I feel like it's, promoting, it's marketing. I may reach an audience that may not see me on Instagram. So I want to reach as many channels as I can, because my motto is, I want to paint the world. The world is my canvas. Yeah. My purpose in creating is to show people what I can do. And it's not always for clout. I just love to create. I want to share my vision with the world, see what I can make. So that's been really fun. And again, it'll be a full year come July. And it's been really fun. Like I said, I've been getting nothing but positive feedback from it. And just the way things feel with the quarantine, I said, why not? I have the time to do it,
Yeah, 100%, man. You are not in the minority on that one, bro. Like, every single person that I have had a conversation with, they all have said that this thing has spawned some type of innovation, and that they have found themselves thriving more so in this than they have ever before. And I think it's just a testament to who we are in society, right? Because beforehand, creatives, it was kind of taboo to be a creative, right? It's like, oh, you just don't know what you want to do, or you're not, you know what I'm saying, or you're not, you can't excel in this particular area. So you don't like rules, you don't like, but the reality is that you, the creative, you're the one who initiates something that will eventually turn into like something that people will work for, and it'll be considered a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? It starts with a creative. And I love asking that question because it's kind of like almost like a case study for me. Like, everybody who is a creative, we are already used to being nimble and thinking our way through things. You know what I'm saying? So we're primed for success in this. It's the person who was at a 9 to 5. They only know what they were doing. The rug got pulled from up under them, and now they just lost. And this really taught us a real lesson. It's like, at one moment you can be doing what you're doing, but you always have to be you have to be nimble. And I think that entrepreneurs, hustlers, and influencers, like, that's our superpower. So it's important, man. Like, I love the answers that I've been getting, because they've all been positive. I have not spoken to one person that's been like, man, the pandemic, man, they on my back, man. I can't do this, I can't do that. Like, you hear that though, right? Like, you hear it, you see it on Facebook, you see it on Instagram. People are saying these things. People are very much so victims in this situation. And I'm not taking away from what people are going through. But I'm saying that every single person I've spoken to who is a self-proclaimed hustler, entrepreneur, influencer, I have not heard that rhetoric from them. So we probably need to be taking our cues from the same people who, at one point, it was taboo to even claim. And I'm gonna get off of that, right? Because you see, I could talk, right? We could just go all the way on.
Bro, I ain't mad at you.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that, man. But
man, I ain't mad at
you. So one thing that I do like to kind of dig into a little bit is I don't have it listed as a question, because a lot of times people kind of like just end up there. But where did you start? Like, when did you start doing your art? Like, when did this become a thing for you?
Oh, well, that's easy. Art's always been a thing. So art's been a day one. It's been in many different forms.
Yeah.
But art is legit in my blood. Like, my mother, she's a sewer. She sews clothes like nothing. She used to create outfits that she gets for us. Like, within hours. My dad's a hand painter. He's done stuff like he'll paint the living room wall, t-shirts. My mom is an artist too. Like painting, all of that. That's just, drawing is in my blood. So since I was a kid, I've always had a form of art in my sleeve, just doing it. So we'll start out with, drawing my favorite cartoon characters, to just trying to sketch out and master figures. When I was in high school, a favorite thing I like to do was I would customize t-shirt by, I'll take stencils and spell out basketball names with their colors, put basketballs on them, try to make, NBA t-shirts, NFL t-shirt. Then from that, I dabbled a little bit in shoes, but I didn't really know the science behind it. So I would like maybe do the shoelaces and maybe like try to color the tongue a little bit. But I would even like, do my jeans. And from that, I actually started doing more serious sketches. People would ask me, sketch out tattoo ideas for them. People asked me to would I get into tattooing, but that was just something. It wasn't in like my path. I knew that wasn't in my direction.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Yeah. I was wondering that too, as a matter of fact. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm particular about how I work, so I respect tattoo artists thousandfold. But me personally, having to do an actual live body, have them hold still, make sure it comes out correctly, that's not something that's in my style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I sketch out the design for you. So people ask me to sketch out designs every day. So I have my sketchbook. I sketch out designs for them. They'll work with that. One girl, I remember she tagged me in a post when she got it done, and you know that meant a lot. And then the real pathway was I was going to start doing like larger pictures, so custom artwork. You know, large canvases. Let me know what you want to do, and it'd be something nice on your wall. I didn't necessarily stick to that because I didn't think that would take off as much because everyone wants something nice on their wall, but it didn't seem like something that would be as functional or something people would gravitate to, which led me to doing shoes because I kind of learned and noticed that sneakers was definitely just the mecca of like, you know, pop culture and fashion.
Yeah.
Everyone loves sneakers, you know? So that's what got me into that. So I've always been into artwork. And in 2015, I just did my research. You know, how do you do different materials, leather versus mesh or canvas sneakers? You know, what's the best paint to use? So, you know, I looked up Angelus and started using Angelus brand paint. And, you know, from that, you know, it just like went off like a wildfire, it just spread. You know, I was like, well, how can I separate myself from other artists? There was already big names in the game of sneaker customization. So that's what brought me to being, you know what, I'm gonna try to be a chameleon where I could just try to paint anything you give me. One job I had, a sister gave me a vase. And I was like, sure, you know, check the material out. I knew I had, you know, how to prep it, clean it, spray paint it, and that's what got me into spray paint. So whether the material needs spray paint or, you know, acrylic paint, I just wanted to broaden my book of work and my services provided. Yeah. So it's been a long road, and the basis of it is just me loving to draw. I actually didn't really get into painting until like 2015.
Really?
So a lot of people are surprised to hear that because I've never really been a painter. I've always just loved to sketch and draw and that was going to always be my thing, you know, whether it was like, you know, doing cartoons or, you know, sketching out designs or things like that. But I really didn't get into painting. And of course, because I had my mother, you know, she's like I call her my art teacher because I call myself the raw talent because I dive into things and figure them out. But as far as like some type of structure or basis, that was my mom. She's like my number one art teacher. So I didn't really even get into painting until 2015. But when you got that ingenuity and craft within you, it's not too hard to kind of dive into something and, you know, working and everything when you already got a natural artistic energy and spirit.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. Like,
Thank you.
I can tell from the way that you know you speak about your parents that the relationship is a very, very unique and valuable relationship to you. Like I said in the text, man, I mean, it kind of, you know, I kind of go where you go. And so I am curious a little bit about the dynamic, you know, like of, you know, with you and your parents. Like what was that? Let's speak on the art side. What was it like growing up in a household where like art was the focal point and that was like you guys' bonding? Because some people have passions and they force it on their children, right? But I'm not getting that from you, you know? So like what was kind of describe that a little bit for me? Like, you know, just growing up in that and seeing your parents, like what was the interaction? How did they give that to you? Did you just, I want to know, you know what I'm saying? Because it sounds like a beautiful situation to me.
The best way I can describe it is they don't know if I'll like a food or not as a kid. So they'll leave it on the table and say nothing and wait for me to walk up to the table and eat it. You know, like
it was. That's okay.
You know, does that make sense?
That makes sense because we doing that right now with my kids. With
right, you know
food.
what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it was just there, you know, it was on the walls. You know, my mom put herself through college and got a master's degree in social work, but she also took art classes in addition to that. So, you know, I always had bedtime with mom. I would lay up under her and she would show me what she's working on. So, you know, she would show me artwork she was working on, or my dad would be in the second room painting. Visual arts is kind of like secondary for my pops. My pops is more so music is like the primary, but he always had a shirt on that he hand painted. He always had something on his wall in his music room, so it was just there for me to just naturally absorb, I don't think if they took up different crafts, or if they would just, if she was just focused on social work and he just focused on music, I don't think I would be into art the way I am, because it was all around for me to just absorb. My dad had artist friends. My dad got a partner named Thomas who used to come over too, and I would look at his work too. So it was like I was just exposed to it naturally, to the point where, that plus a love of cartoons just, was a catalyst. So it was just there for me to absorb. I can't recall any time where they asked me, do I want to do this? Unless I came to them and asked them, how do I do this,
100%. Let me take a quick moment to look over here on Facebook. People are saying that they are looking for the interview and they're not seeing it. And that is a problem, because I'm seeing that I set this to stream live to Facebook. So I'm wondering why it's not showing. Now, for sure, I know for sure it should be going to YouTube for sure, but I also have Facebook clicked. So check with your Facebook friends and see if they're seeing anything, because as it stands, and we don't have to spend so much time on it, but I know that we've been pushing it so hard on Facebook, so I want for people to be able to, it's not on there, I don't see it. That is not good. But the show must go on. It's being recorded somewhere.
Okay.
It's being recorded somewhere, and what I'll do, I'll repost it to Facebook, and I might end up doing that going forward anyway. But nonetheless, we are here, and I think that what you said was very important, because I got that analogy. It wasn't because I have different things that I'm passionate about. I have different things that I've done in the past that I'm doing right now that I would just hope that my kids, take a liking to. But I have to, I have to, walk that line of not, being so passionate about it that I pushed them away from it. But I
you don't want to Joe Jackson.
Yeah. We ain't on that type of time, man. That don't end up good. You could have did that back in the day, man. These days, they ain't even gonna make it to start. You're gonna be in jail somewhere. But I will say that I will leave the door open, right? Not right now, because they'll come in here and take this whole thing over. But in all my other stuff, I leave the door open so they can at least see me, like when I was making the shirts and just everything that I've done. I want them to see me, because I do think it's important. Like when I hear you speak about the relationship, and this is important. I think that this thing is important right here. Now that I'm thinking about the dynamic, you said it. You said that if your parents were just so focused on providing for you, right? So whatever that would have been, that could have been social work or whatever your dad was doing for money, then you would have never been able to even, experience those things. But the fact that they allowed their passions to stay alive is what essentially created what you have here, is the fact that they didn't just shut down their passions, at a certain age. Like, all right, man, I got to grow up now and I got to like.
Right. And it wasn't easy for them. And that's why I'm always so appreciative of who my parents are, because my mother was putting herself through college to get a master's.
Yeah.
She has a master's degree in social work, but she still came home, took care of a house full of kids, dinner, laundry. My dad was a roofer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you hear stuff like that, you're like, man, after that, they probably sleep, but they still found time to paint or create music.
Yeah.
And that's what sticks with me, because even with the 9 to 5, I'm still doing my passion. Yeah. Like a lot of people, and I know we ain't supposed to stay on that too long, but a lot of people think the end game is supposed to be you get to wake up whenever you want, you got all this money flowing, and you're doing what you want. Nah, you working even harder. I feel like, sometimes the misconception is quit your 9 to 5 and work for yourself so you don't have to wake up in the morning. I feel like that's what a lot of people want, but it's like you waking up at 8 to be to work at 9, some people who legit own their own business, that's all they have, they're waking up at 4.
Yeah.
So you're working even harder. So it's like, I'm appreciative because my 9 to 5 putting food on the table, roof over our head. And I have the money to invest to my business, just like you said before.
Exactly.
You know, because I'm very anti-starving artists. I want people to be able to afford quality supplies and things they need
100.
for their art. And
100%.
thankful for a 9 to 5, I can do that because Angela's paint isn't cheap when you really invest into it. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do quality work. I can't use dollar store acrylic paint on people's shoes because that's going to crack, that's going to chip. That's my namesake. So I'm definitely going to keep my 9 to 5 as long as I need to. I'm never going to burn no bridge and walk away from my job. And just like my parents, they still worked job, they still went to school, and they still had time to paint and music because that's their passion. They found the time to do it, and that flowed into me.
100%, man. I think that kind of just that kind of sets us up for the next question, and that is your brand of advice for people who may be discouraged during this time. They either have already started their entrepreneurship journey, and this thing just dealt them a blow and they're discouraged. They may be thinking about quitting, or they may be thinking about starting the entrepreneurship journey and they see this thing happens and it's discouraging them and they don't even want to start. What is your brand of advice for those two types of individuals?
Honestly, so if you are discouraged, kind of like probably don't even know if you should get into it, that kind of thing was the second one. I would say do it anyway. You know, I think sometimes a misconception is you're supposed to have some big launch party. You're supposed to have, 1,000 business cards, your phone ringing off the hook, 1,000 emails. No, it doesn't start like that. You know, I got one commission maybe every month when I first started in 2015. And even still, it's not like I'm just, got commissions coming in left and right. And that's a positive too, because you don't want to get overwhelmed when the quality goes down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I had to do 5 pairs of shoes in 2 days, I may have to rush. And the quality might be not bad. So I'm thankful for the pace it's going. So my advice would be honestly, just dive into it, and I've been seeing a lot of people on my timeline starting their business, people doing cupcakes, a hand accessory, charm bracelets, desserts, food, fashion as well. Start somewhere, get you the materials you need for your business. And I would say start with your family. Have your family be kind of like your focus group, If you're doing food, make a couple of dishes, have the family over Sunday. All right, let's sit down and eat. All right, what y'all think? If you're making accessories, things like that, make some, give it to your family. See how they like it. Have them wear it. So when they go to work or wherever, people will see it. You know what I'm saying? And then make sure they got your business cards. I got my business cards on Vistaprint, not that expensive. It's not going to hit your pockets hard. I think it was like less than $10 for like 1,000 cards, something crazy like that. Yeah. Start small and start with your family because that was somewhere where I started. I made stuff. The first ever custom shoes I've done was for my wife. Yeah. And that was symbolic because, she supported me in this, but at the same time, I can create something for her to give me her honest feedback, for her to wear them, for her to support me. So definitely don't be discouraged of starting small. Like I said, network with your family, start out with things with them, see what their honest feedback is, because your family going to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? You want their honesty and their feedback before you get out into that world and start promoting yourself. 100%. So, and just know that if it doesn't blow up overnight, that's okay. It comes with time. You'll hear all these stories and movies of people on yachts the next month because they did this and that. Nah, take it for what comes with it. As much energy you put into it is what you're going to get back. It's okay that you might get one customer a month. You got a customer. Yeah. And then, they may tell 2 people, now you got 2 more customers, Just ride the wave as it comes. That's how I feel because, it's easy to get discouraged if you hand out 3,000 business cards and no one calls you for months. But at the same time, if you stop, then it stops. But if you keep going, something is going to come. Yeah. I promise you that. So, like I said, I've been so proud of everyone I've seen on my timeline who's been doing their small businesses and entrepreneurship because it's room for everybody to eat. I love that everyone's finding a passion or, diving into their passion to do something.
Yeah.
And, don't get so lost in how many followers your business page gets. Don't get so lost in how many views your YouTube get. Just do it.
Yeah.
Ride the wave and put the work in. Just do it. And because what's the saying? Water watch never boils. You know what I'm saying?
Water,
do what you need to do.
Never, but hold on. You can speed past that one. Hold on a second now. Let me think about this.
I might be saying it wrong, but basically,
Water,
you've ever put a...
Go ahead.
Yeah, you ever put a pot on the stove and watched and waited for it to boil?
Yes.
It's going to feel like forever.
Water watched. ED
Yeah,
on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I get it now. I was like, water watch. Okay.
Water watch.
You on some Jedi mind going here.
But yeah, It's not gonna boil because you sitting there. It's gonna take forever. But if you do, look, put that water on the stove, let it boil, prep your stuff over here, prep your food. This thing, next thing you know, is boiling. So I say that metaphor to say, if you sit there and wait for things to happen, it's gonna feel like it's never gonna happen. But if you continue to put your work in, make some more business calls, find another stream of marketing, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, make some stuff for your family to wear. And again, that goes back to your family. If you're doing shoes, jewelry, makeup, eyelash, and all that, man, just make some stuff, give it to your folks. Just give it to them.
100%.
Let them rock it. Let them market for you. You know what I'm saying? That's free marketing.
You are 1,000% on point, my brother. One thing that you said about, like worrying about them likes, man. Worrying about them views and them likes, man. That's gonna get you in trouble, bro.
Yeah, I had a conversation. I was definitely a victim to that too.
Content is king, man. Content is king. Think about how many times somebody goes viral, and what's the first thing that we do? We love that video, right? But then we go back and rewatch all they old stuff, or we re-listen to all they old stuff. And 9 times out of 10, if there is no old stuff, that's when you have a one-hit wonder. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
9 times out of 10. Now, and this is, and now peep this detail, right? Because I think this is important. I think that happens when someone's sole purpose was to go viral, right? Because if your sole purpose was to go viral, you put all your energy into going viral, and you go viral with that one thing, well, now you got to do it again, right? But you really didn't put effort into your craft. You put your effort into going viral.
Yep.
Right? So there is instances where somebody can do something for the first time, boom, it goes viral, right? But I think that those are two different situations, right? Because you do something for the first time, or you give something for the first time, where it might be something that you just good at, you love, you give it. More than likely, you probably can give it again because that's what you've been putting your energy into all this time anyway, not going viral, So I think content is king, like you said, man. Continue to put it out, test it on your folks, test it on whoever want to. All of the greats, if you think about all of the greats in history, man, all of the Jeff Bezoses, everybody has this same story. I don't know why people think that it's not it's not the way. Like the way is try, fail, try. One person says yes, and it changes your life. You know what I'm saying?
It changed your life. I didn't have a lot of commissions in 2015. I had people who would hit me up, ask my price, and then I don't hear from them. I had people who had me do something, but they said I have something again, and maybe something didn't come through. Like I didn't have a large body of commission work. Like if you look at my Instagram posts, a lot of them was of my family. But I archived those so you can just see the artwork. But a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? So for a big gap in my Instagram history, it was mostly just my family. Yeah. So things have started picking up again. I'm very appreciative of it. And I say that to say, just ride the wave. It's going to go down. It's going to go up. Just ride it. You know what I'm saying? Don't focus solely on when you can put in your 2 weeks notice, when you get your office space. But don't. Yeah. You got to put the work in. Don't vision so hard on the finish line that you don't realize you got a race to run. Not a marathon. Not a race, a marathon.
Marathon.
Because the marathon is when you gradually got a pace and you're trying to get there. A race is when you just, you know what I'm saying? You just got to run full speed and get there as quick as you can. You got a marathon. This is a marathon. Run, take your pace, keep your breathing up, and run as long as you need to, man. Nipsey
100%.
said it best. It's a marathon, not a race.
Man, neighborhood.
And honestly, like you said about focus on likes and views and all that, man, my wife, I'm very thankful for the woman I married because she helped me with that. She's always been my guiding light. And the reason I love her so much is because she keeps it real, but in such a loving way because she cares so much about me. Because I ain't gonna lie, when I uploaded my first YouTube video, the first couple of days, I was, watching the screen.
Yeah, like,
refreshing, you know what I'm saying?
I don't care. Huh? Oh, you said, oh, okay. No,
you know what I'm saying? Refresh. Oh, I got 2 more. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Then look, I share an Instagram story so people know what's up. Like, how many people view the Instagram story? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
She had to remind me, just have fun with it, babe.
Exactly.
Have fun with it. And that's the other thing. Have fun. You already got a 9 to 5. Don't make this work too.
Yeah.
Handle your business. Don't get me wrong. You got business to handle, but still have to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the difference between your job and this is that you have the power to create the culture of it. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the big difference. It's not that you're not gonna have work to do, but what would be your ideal 9 to 5 to go to? You know what I'm saying? And you have the ability to create it as a business owner. You have the ability to create that culture that you feel like you want to get away from or you want to get to, when you're running from your 9 to 5. But man, so I can't even really that's mic drop for real. You know what I'm saying? Because that's it. Have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And no matter what, push through and give the people content, man. You're gonna have some joints where it ain't gonna be, 100%, but you gotta put it out. So here we are now. We're at the point where I want you to let people know how they can find you, where they can find you. Just pretty much just give us everywhere that we need to go to get some artwork from Niahmu, the raw talent.
Yeah. You can contact me on Instagram. Instagram has my body of work. You can also message me on there if you are interested on a commissioned piece, whether it's sneakers, denim jacket, home decor, end tables, vases, things like that. You can find me at Niahmu, capital N as in Nancy, IAH, M as in music, the letter U, _ the raw talent, TheRawTalent. You can also find me on YouTube, same name, I'm the raw talent. If you want to see my YouTube videos, you can find me there. And that's where, I do time lapse of me creating the artwork that I post about. And I also add in an element of, funny skits because I like to do, comedy in there as well, just to kind of have something a little different. I try to be as different as I can. So, I want to do a little comedic element to it, as well as a time lapse. So you'll laugh, but you'll also see how the creation takes place when I create my artwork as well.
And let me do this real quick, just so people can have the visual. This is something I'm gonna start doing too. You can see that there.
Thank you, brother.
So this is what he's talking about. This is his IG. So if you don't got no excuse, man. It's right there. It looks just like your phone, but bigger as hell.
Yeah.
And
so 2 things I do want to point out. Link in the bio will have my latest YouTube video. Okay. So you can always see that in my description, link in bio. And also, because I believe in giving love to receive love, my highlights where it says support biz, those look like the 2 from the left, the far 2 from the left, support biz. Definitely check those out if you have a moment. That's where I actually shout out other entrepreneurs and small brands that I've seen on my timeline. Because I did like a week or 2 of just shouting out everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I believe in giving love. Everybody should eat. There's no egos and no rivalry. Everybody can eat. So for like a week and a half, I just shout out everybody else my stories, and I highlighted all of them. So, I appreciate you coming to see me, but just remember there's other services and products out there as well, and I want to give them love too. So check
100%.
those out. You might find something you like.
100%, man. So lastly, I like to ask, because that's how you make your money, but how can we as your community better support you and your initiative and your business?
Yeah. So definitely the top one is always, hit me up for artwork or, saying custom pieces. That goes without saying. If you aren't interested in a custom piece, or maybe you don't have the money, or you're not interested in anything right now, that's okay. I will always say, check out my YouTube channel, share that, share my content, help the YouTube channel grow, share my videos, and also just, bring attention to the post you like as well, because people like my stuff, but if you like it but not interested in getting anything for yourself, definitely share it with someone who may like it. Like, hey, I don't, because I know there's a lot of sneakerheads I've talked to who love my work and what I do to sneakers, but they're purists, they got an all white Jordan 1, they're gonna leave them all white Jordan 1. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How they bought them is how they want to stay because they're sneaker collectors. But if that's the case, share it with someone who might want to get their sneakers. Hey,
100%.
I ain't getting my sneakers painted because I want to keep them the way I bought them. But I know you like custom stuff. You should check this brother out. And then, check out the YouTube channel, share the YouTube videos, help me grow in that community as well. So
100%.
if it ain't financial, definitely just share me and share my content.
There it is. There it is, bro. I want to thank you for indulging me in my questions, getting in the hot seat.
I'm very appreciative and happy to be here. Thank you.
100%, man. For those of you who will see this, right, because it's not streaming live right now, but for those of you who will see this, we do this every single Sunday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Central Standard Time. This is the check-in. We check in with our favorite entrepreneurs, hustlers, influencers to see how they are faring during these times. And at this point, if you don't know my motto, shame on you. If you call yourself a hustler and your hustle motivates, by all means, you got to check in. And we out, man. We
appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, bro. This was great.
Thank
you.
All
right, man. Take it easy.
You too, man. You too.
100.